Andrew McIrvin gathered together a team of friends from the RORC, and they chartered Windrose, a 155-foot schooner, to participate in the RORC Caribbean 600, an amazing offshore race which weaves 600 miles around 11 of the Leeward Islands, starting and finishing in Anguilla.
I suppose our main objective is to beat our fellow schooner Adela. They'll be our sort of #1 enemy.
Andrew and his team, preparing for the start, are now beginning to feel the adrenaline rush. In the general melee before starting, it's important to position the boat competitively against the others in their class.
Ease the sails, ease the main, ease the fore.
Because I think we had a very good start. We beat Adela, and I'm sure I had a barrel of rum bet with Greg Perkins about who won the start. 1.5 minutes to tack. Tacking, tacking.
That last leg to windward was quite good. We took a bit out of an Adela. The breeze has freshened.
We're just going round the corner of Green Island, which is the first turning mark of the course. It's a straight line from here, whereas we've been tacking up from the start.
I was thinking how happy we all are to be here and not in Europe with 0 degrees centigrade at the moment.
Okay, right now we're 20 miles from the turning mark at Barbuda. Then we have a leg of 50 miles all the way down to Nevis.
I'm trimming the spinnaker for my part of the watch, trying to trim it mostly by calling the helm. Dug on our helm there is somewhere 65 foot behind me. I'm 65 foot from where the spinnaker is. I can see what the spinnaker is doing, and I can try and convey that back to him. The helm has no idea what's happening at the sharp end, and communication is an issue.
Okay, Sarah, if you come up here now.
As Windrose rounds the laid mark at Barbuda, the staysail and spinnaker are set, and she overtakes the smaller boats who had started ahead of her. Most importantly, Adela is still well within sight, which will make keeping tabs on her during the night much easier.
Here we are, sunset on the first day of the RORC Caribbean 600. I think it would be quite like a vodka and tonic. I'd like a vodka and tonic.
Lights off, someone standing by. Go.
We've just dived around the bottom end of Nevis. We were pretty close to Adela, who were on our starboard side, but we've now snuck under their stern. Bit of a tit for tat day with Adela all day today, but there we go. The preventer I asked for twice then, and it wasn't done, okay? Somebody on it is not getting rid of the preventer, okay? Do you all understand? Slight small error without getting one of the runners on, but nothing that really held us up too badly. So we're now on starboard jibe, heading for the next mark, which is Sabre, probably about 40 miles away.
It's been a bit of a struggle getting around here. Vying managed to roll Adela actually, which is nice, but they managed to coast past us and they're a couple of miles in front of us now.
So Deborah, how do you enjoy the night sailing?
I think it's a bit scary, but that's made up for by brilliant stargazing.
Just getting towards the end of our second night watch. The sun's just come up this morning. So far, it's been great fun. Some really superb sailing. But like any ocean race, you have to keep on working at it. We had a very soft patch in the night when I'm afraid Adela got past us on a completely different wind to us. And we hope we're reeling her in slowly on this beat up to St Martin.
A sudden Caribbean squall comes through with its usual heavy downpour, but the sun comes out again just as quickly as Windrose passes the dramatic rocks at the eastern end of St Bart's. And now it's a tight turn off the wind and the spinnaker is set again.
We've tweaker. He's a tweaker, please.
So Daniel, are you pleased with that manoeuvre sail hoist?
Yeah, everything went pretty well. It would have been nice if they did it in an hour's time when, after I finished my sleep, but it happened.
Sweet and easy, the way we like it. We are coming up for 1100 hours, and in previous years we've been on the way back, having gone round St Martin at this stage, so we're not going to get in for Thursday lunch, I don't think.
Okay guys, let's go stay sail up.
I think it's a proper race for everyone on this boat, because you look at this crew up here, they're trying every ounce of effort they can to catch the boat ahead of us, who's our main rival on the water.
Okay.
Yeah, just take the preventer off and clip it back on the boom, please.
Alex, what's the decision you have to make at the moment? What's the issue?
Beat Adela.
No, I know that. No, the tactical.
At all costs. The tactical manoeuvre right now is there's a big shallow patch off the end of St Martin here, and we've dropped the kite at the last possible moment. Just when we were getting headed, everything came down, and I have to say, it worked like a dream.
Windrose now engages in a prolonged tacking duel with Adela, literally match racing up the Anguilla Strait after already sailing 250 miles offshore. Definitely a very rare sight.
We're just sort of passing the north end of St Bart's, having had a bit of a duel with Adela, and as you can see, they're only just ahead by a quarter of a mile.
It's been very noticeable that there's very little swell, and it was much flatter coming up through the channel to St Bart's and then through the Anguilla channel. Surprisingly, even for a 154-foot boat that weighs a large number of tons, she does get quite stopped by any sea.
Okay, it's still Tuesday, 5 minutes past 11. We've just gone round Montserrat. We've passed a few boats inside us. And one of the nerve-wracking things we have to look forward to now is the huge wind shadow as we approach Guadeloupe. This is probably the most decisive factor of the whole race.
About 9 miles, 10 miles off the southern end of Guadeloupe. The wind's gone light. Adela, our nemesis, is in front of us. Morning update. We've been beating along the south coast past Mary Gallant, and we're heading up to Desirade. We've got Adela in our sights, but a little further ahead than we'd like. We're doing all right actually. We just had a bit of a shower, which is quite nice, quite refreshing.
The long beat along the south of Guadeloupe finally reaches the easternmost tip of La Desirade, where Windrose turns sharply northwest and the spinnaker is set again for Barbuda.
Okay, Jim out. Come back on course, Robbie.
The spinnaker tore along a seam, and Andrew, a skilled surgeon in real life, repaired it without resorting to any needles. The bowman went aloft for a final rig check before Windrose starts her last night.
I think the thing I remember most is the very, very dark nights that we've had, which makes it sometimes quite difficult. But it hasn't been exactly a cruise, but it hasn't been as uncomfortable as some of the channel racing that we do.
We came up to the North South mark, which was all fairly well done. Right, nice one, well done everybody. Did a jibe set around the North South mark, which went very well actually. Just ran on it just a couple of boat lengths after the jibe, and then went with the big kite, trucking along with that on, doing about 13-14 knots, and then we lost the clue. Right, stop on the head stop. What's the problem? Where? So we're not quite sure what happened, but we think it's a strop.
We have a killer strop, which is a clue where our sheets are attached, and the thing just gave up.
So we rescued that. It's all sort of flying off, held by the tack and the halyard. rescued the kite, got that down, and we're now just rounded Redonda, which is the last mark of the course for the RORC Caribbean 600, and we're now heading on a southeasterly course towards the northern tip of Montserrat, and we'll have to throw a few tacks in before we get back home.
As the sun rises, Windrose starts the long beat to the finish, which seems to stretch out endlessly. Finally, however, she arrives and just ducks the line to finish.
Well, we got here. Unfortunately, we got here behind Adela.
We did have a good race actually. We couldn't have sailed any better, that is for sure. Unfortunately, we didn't beat Adela, but that's the way it goes.
So Windrose cheerfully acknowledged her second place and moored up nearby. The early morning finish was also the start of celebrating Mike the Commodore's 50th birthday.